Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to your story time with me, Miss Debbie. Today I have two brand new stories to read to you. I hope you enjoy them and I hope you like to come to the library and check them out for yourself and then read them to yourself as well, or just look at the pictures. This one is called Maple by Lori Nichols. I know some little girls named Maple. This is published by Nancy Holson Books, an imprint of Penguin Group. I always like to say the publisher. Maple loved her name. Here she is sitting under a maple tree. When she was still a whisper in her mommy's tummy, her parents planted a tiny tree in her honor. And even though Flavia, Millie Jane, Lena, Lily, and Constance were all good names, Maple was the perfect fit. In this picture, she's in her baby basket looking up through the maple leaves. And as Maple grew, so did her tree. Sometimes, when Maple was noisy, which was a lot, her parents sent her outside to play. Her tree didn't mind if she was loud. Maple would sing to her tree and sway for her tree, and sometimes even pretend to be a tree. On some days, when the wind was just right, Maple would simply lie under her tree and its leaves would dance just for her. Do you like laying underneath the trees and looking up through the leaves? I do. Then one day, Maple noticed her tree was bare. Maple was worried her tree might get cold. So Maple took off her jacket and gave it to the tree to stay warm. Sometimes Maple wished she had someone else to play with. The tree wasn't very good at throwing snowballs. She wondered if the tree felt the same way. So Maple introduced her tree to a friend. A snowman friend, a snowball friend. That friendship didn't last. Snowball melted. But Maple and her tree still had each other. Through the winter and the spring. She's playing with her favorite toys. Oops, looks like something else is getting planted. Then one day, something surprising happened. Oh, something's coming up where something was planted. And then something really surprising happened. So here's the little tree. And guess what? Mommy's gonna have a baby. Oh my. Maple became a big sister. Maple tried to be a good big sister. What do you do? Look, what do you do with a baby anyway? If the baby was cold, Maple gave the baby her hat and gloves. If the baby was lonely, Maple would share her special friends. But Maple couldn't always make the baby happy. Maybe you know about things like that. Babies crying because they're just so unhappy over something. And when the baby was noisy, which it was a lot, Maple would take her outside to play. And something magical happened. Maple's tree danced for them both. Ooh, look at the robin's eggs in the nest. And there was just enough room under the tree for Maple and her little sister, Willow. And look what the second tree is. It's a weeping willow tree. How special is that story? I'm going to look for some more Maple and Willow books for our library. This one is fun, and the illustrations are great. The Giraffe and Jackal are friends again. And so this is written by Lisa Robinson and Mary Mackenzi, and it's illustrated by Nicole Michels. I like the colors in this, kind of muted colors. Published by Sounds True Publishers in Boulder, Colorado. And there's a turtle, there's jackal, there's giraffe, alligator, ostrich, hippo, and bird on top of the hippo. Giraffe and Jackal were best friends. And here they wrote in the sand, best friends forever. In class, they partnered up for projects. At lunch, they gulped down ground nut pudding. At recess, they braided friendship bracelets. On their way home from Savannah School, Giraffe and Jackal loved to stop at the watering hole. Splish, sploosh, plash. But they were always careful to avoid the path between the buffalo thorn trees. That's where the bullies hang out. One morning, Mrs. Wildebeest, their teacher, asked, who would like to be a special helper for Aardvark, our new student? And there's Aardvark. Giraffe raised a hoof. We will. No, Jackal yipped. I don't want to play with anyone but you. Come sit with us, Giraffe said to Aardvark. Ugh, Jackal grumbled. Aardvark smells. At lunch, Aardvark snuffled up termites. Ew, Jackal said. Let's eat somewhere else. Giraffe stayed put. I'd like to taste a termite, she said. At recess, Giraffe and Aardvark played hide and seek. Jackal raised his hackles and loped away. I can't believe Aardvark stole my best friend, Jackal growled. But then he had an idea. He's remembering when they wrote best friends forever in the sand. At the end of the day, Jackal bounded over to Aardvark. Let's sneak ahead and surprise Giraffe at the watering hole, he whispered. We love to splash there. Okay, Aardvark said. That sounds fun. It's just a little guy. That way, Jackal pointed to the path between the buffalo thorn trees. I'll meet you there. Aardvark ambled off. That wasn't very nice. Giraffe loped over. Hey, Jackal, where's Aardvark? She asked. Giraffe glared. You didn't warn her about the lions? Jackal hung his head low. We've got to save her. Giraffe ran off. Don't go, Jackal howled. It's dangerous. Roar, roar, grunt, squeak, snort. Roar! Jackal sprinted to the rescue. He snarled, he barked, he nipped. Look at little Aardvark. Finally, the lions retreated into the trees. Once Aardvark was safely tucked into her burrow, Giraffe and Jackal wandered through the grasslands. Thanks for chasing off the lions, Giraffe said. Jackal snapped at a patch of grass. Are you mad? Giraffe braided the broken grass stalks. Yes, Jackal barked. Mad, mad as a storm cloud, with thunder and lightning, and what? Giraffe asked. Jackal sniffed. And rain, I'm sad too. I felt left out when you were playing with Aardvark. I understand, Giraffe said. Sometimes I feel like a storm cloud too. I was sad when you wouldn't play with us at recess, and mad that you didn't warn Aardvark about the lions. I just want you to be my friend. Jackal picked some flowers. I can be friends with both of you, Giraffe said. She wove the flowers into a braid. Did you know that giraffes have the biggest hearts of all land animals? There's no limit to how many friends I can have. Really? Jackal asked. Really, Giraffe replied. Giraffe gave Jackal a friendship bracelet. Look, she said, I made one for each of us. Would you be willing to bring one to Aardvark with me and play with us in school tomorrow? That would make me so happy. Jackal paced, grrr, and he gurred, and he paced. And then he said, okay, I can do that. Jackal said, can I ask for something too? Something that would make me happy? Yes, Giraffe said. Can we sometimes splash around at the watering hole, just you and me? Of course. Let's do it right now. And so they did. Splash, sploosh, plash. BFF. I'm going to cry. Best friends forever. I hope you have a best friend, and I hope your heart is big enough to keep all your friends inside. Thanks for listening to my stories, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.